of understanding to our
Yeah.
audience.
Sure. See, what I did, to understand the complexities, to understand the deep-rooted prejudices within these academic spaces, in fact, I was very particular about the methods which I have adopted to prove that, how discrimination or caste, operates within the university space. And also keeping the criticism in the mind, or keeping certain kind of future criticisms in the mind. What I did, I tried to bring the sample 600 students. It's not a small sample. In fact, over a period of time, around 12 to 14 years, I worked on this issue, writing writing on different like suicides, discrimination, many other things. Over a period of time, I worked on it. So 600 samples with 10 universities, both state universities and central universities, I picked up as my sample. And in each university, I picked up 60 samples. Whereas, I also tried to balance the gender, keeping certain gender, and also the subcaste categories within the caste also, because, that was also a very tension. That is also an interesting phenomenon that I found in my study. And also what I did, in fact, I have divided the sample into discipline background also, where the professional courses, science disciplines, where the more discrimination patterns happens. So therefore, when I discussed about my book as university space, I also discussed about how discrimination happens in general about all kinds of higher educational institutions. That includes, IITs, that includes, triple ITs, institutes of, IIMs and many other spaces. When I said that, I mean the hands versus brains, the general perception of merit is nothing but who are the casteless communities. Because, the unreserved categories who claims themselves as casteless. So therefore, the people who are entering into the university spaces or IITs or IIMs through quotas are full of caste identity. So this kind of, image that has been brought, came over a period of time. And the new way of, making themselves forward in these institutions is castelessness, where Professor Satish Deshpande has clearly mentioned about what is this castelessness about these, unreserved people. I would like to just bring, two different examples, much more recent examples. My book came, 2 years before, or 1 year before. 1.5 years before. More interestingly, I would like to give two examples. Number one, just couple of weeks before, there are n number of issues like Darshan Solanki. After Darshan Solanki's wide debate that has happened across the country, which has been covered about this discrimination in IITs, IIT Hyderabad, a couple of weeks before, two students, one student, this girl student who is from Odisha, killed herself in the campus, and one student who went on vacation and also, very suspicious death. So both the incidents has again brought this problem of discrimination back in front of us. And interestingly, the way how the idea of merit, the idea of caste that operates subtly, openly, there are many ways how I try to explain that happens in IITs. Like, even till today, I was told by one of a professor from IIT Delhi that in the classroom on the first day, the professors will ask them to introduce with their rank. So what does it mean? It means that you are forced to tell your rank so that the number of the rank which you have got is very clear-cut visible, whether you are a quota child or a non-quota child, or whether you have a caste identity or you don't have any casteless identity. So this is one thing which, I was going through the interesting narrative of these two students who is no more today. And in the month of March, 4 deaths in IIT Madras. That is very, very, very tragic phenomenon. And where is this, where does this buck stop? That is one thing. And when it comes to discrimination patterns that operates through Viva and many other things, interestingly, in Hyderabad University, an RTA has been filed in the month of May, June, July. I think, to understand the pattern of admissions into PhDs. And in that, it is very clearly indications. In the data has been circulated widely, and also there are a couple of articles which has come out on the data that the science disciplines, especially professional courses, science disciplines, they clearly practice discrimination by not marking them, even though they got the reserved candidates get more marks in the written test in comparison with other casteless category. I'm trying to bring that example often and often because, though these people are able to prove their merit, these people in the sense I'm talking about the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBCs, and also minorities. We need to understand this also very interestingly. Increasingly, there is a concern that which one needs to understand about, how even minorities are also under severe, pressure. In fact, one of my papers, which is going to come, I have narrated a couple of minority students, religious minority students, and especially girls in these higher educational institutions, and what kind of problems they face within the university space. So going back to this marking pattern that has exposed the entire hypocrisy of the institutions, which they claim that, we are for equality, there is a diversity, and we are implementing reservations. If so, why that? The HRD minister himself, when there was a question asked in the in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, that he himself mentioned, this is an official statistics, I'm not mentioning anything else, 19,000 dropouts and almost around 27 suicides over a period of 5 years, or maybe 10 years dropout, or maybe 5 years suicide rate. Why is that this is happening? So therefore, what I did, I tried to bring different kind of discrimination patterns that happen within the university spaces very nuancedly, like who are the perpetuators, how does peer group and the teachers and the classroom atmosphere, and also the within and outside the classroom atmosphere, lab, hostel, all these things which I have tried to meticulously map to prove substantially that yes, there is a discrimination. And also what I did, I tried to in fact, from 1970s, I tried to bring the literature. That is a very rich literature which I have provided, that mapping discrimination in IIT Mumbai, basically on fellowships, and how fellowships from 1970s to till date is a major contested concern in the university space. You don't sign on the fellowship forms, and the fellowships were being part of the fellowships are being demanded by the supervisors, and how gender concerns also comes in. How women, girl students are being exploited in the hands of the male supervisors. So all such kind of things that I have brought into my book. And moreover, to substantiate my data that has been collected, what I did, I brought certain narratives, both my own field narratives of selected respondents, and also the certain narratives which I picked up from Livewire, Roundtable India, and other blogs where I try to justify that what I have collected has something significant. And lastly, which I would like to mention is that how these kind of institutional lacunae also have been explained. But you also asked me that what are the positive concerns that has been over a period of time? Yes, Due to reservations, there are certain positive, inclusive things. There is a diversity, no doubt in that. Reservations has been, when Professor Thoret was the UGC chairman, he insisted, in fact, 2013 guidelines is one of his brainchild. And also the fellowship, Rajiv Gandhi fellowship, are now no more, that name remains now. Again, the stigmatized caste identity comes in, fellowship for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. And also, these kind of, and also implementation of reservations in faculty positions, promotions, all these things which I have brought, where there are certain positive nuances also.